morning, this is Bob Mason from FX Empire and welcome to the daily crypto tech review of Bitcoin, Ethereum, Litecoin and Ripple's XRP. We're looking at the MACDs, the moving averages and the day support, resistance and pivot levels. It is Wednesday the 23rd of December. Jumping straight into Bitcoin against the US dollar, looking at the hourly candlesticks, slightly bearish start to the morning here. Going to need to see Bitcoin avoid the pivot at 23,322. Take a run at the first major resistance level, seeing at 24,296. Going to need to see support from the broader market for Bitcoin to break out from yesterday's high 23,812 and break back through to 24,000 levels, however. So barring an extended rally on the day, expect that first major resistance level to cap any upside on the day. In the event of a breakout, resistance at 24,500 would likely come into play. Second major resistance level sits at 24,786. A fall through the pivot would bring the first major support level sitting at 22,832 into play. Barring an extended sell-off on the day, Bitcoin should stay well clear with the second major support level sitting at 21,856. Looking at the MACD, got a slight narrowing of the bullish cross, but nothing indicative of a bearish morning ahead, so keep an eye on that. On the EMAs, we're seeing the 50 move away marginally from the 100 and the 200, suggestive of further upside ahead. So key through the early part of the day, avoid a fall through the pivot, break out from yesterday's high and through to 24,000 levels to bring resistance levels into play. Moving across Ethereum against the US dollar, bearish start to the morning. Going to need to see Ethereum avoid the pivot at 620.95. Take a run at the first major resistance level, saying 654.37. Going to see support from the broader market to break out from yesterday's high. That was at 638.50. So barring an extended rally on the day, expect that first major resistance level to cap any upside. In the event of an extended rally, got resistance at 660 and the second major resistance level sitting at 671.95 to cap any upside on the day. A fall through the pivot would bring the first major support level sitting at 603.41 into play. Barring an extended sell-off on the day, Ethereum should stay clear of sub 590. Second major support level sits at 569.99. Looking at the MACD, slight narrowing of the bullish histogram, but nothing indicative of a bearish morning ahead. On the EMA, we saw the bullish cross at 50 through the 200 and a slight widening this morning and a narrowing on the 100, suggesting a further upside ahead. So key through the early part of the day, avoid the pivot 620.95, break out from yesterday's high through to 640 levels to bring resistance levels into play. Moving across to Litecoin against the US dollar, also bearish this morning. Going to need to see Litecoin avoid the pivot at 109.07 to take a run at the first major resistance level sitting at 119.84. Going to see support from the broader market for Litecoin to break out from 115 levels, however. So barring extended rally on the day, expect that first major resistance level to cap any upside. In the event of a breakout, got the second major resistance level at 125.36 to limit any upside on the day. A fall through the pivot will bring the first major support level sitting at 103.55 into play. Barring an extended sell-off on the day, Litecoin should stay clear of sub 100 levels. 23.6% fib at 101 should limit the downside. Looking at the MACD, we've got a widening of the bullish histogram this morning, suggestive of further upside ahead through the morning. On the EMA, we're also seeing the 50 move away marginally from the 100 and the 200, also suggestive of a move northwards through the morning. So key through the early part of the day, avoid a fall through the pivot, break through to 115 levels to bring resistance levels into play. Finally, looking at Ripple's XRP against the US dollar, bearish start to the morning here. Going to see Ripple's XRP move through the pivot at 0.4552 to take a run at the first major resistance level, sitting at 0.5133. Going to need to see support from the broader market for Ripple's XRP to break out from 0.45 levels, however. So barring an extended rally on the day, expect resistance at 0.47 to cap any upside on the day. In the event of a breakout, we've got that first major resistance level at 0.5133 to cap any upside. Failure to move through the pivot will bring the first major support level sitting at 0.3885 into play. Barring an extended sell-off on the day, should see Ripple's XRP avoid any sub 0.38 levels. The 62% fib sits at 0.3687. Looking at the MACD, we've got a widening of the bearish histogram this morning after yesterday's late bearish cross, supporting this early pullback. On the EMAs, we're also seeing the 50 pull back from the 100 and the 200, suggestive of further downside ahead. So failure to move through that pivot level at 0.4552 would bring sub 0.4 levels and support levels into play.